Okay, let's give you some more practice. So given this function here, f of x equals this thing here, find the inverse of this function here. So currently you've got this function here. So you can imagine this as being like a machine here. So you've got a machine here. When you put in, let's say any number, let's say minus a half. If you put minus a half into here, it will do its job, blah 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 blah, and then it will spit out the number 5. Okay, you finding the inverse of this function, it's like you finding some sort of procedure in this machine here, so that when you put this number into it, this number 5 into this new machine, it will do its blah 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 blah, and then it will spit out the what you originally put in this machine here. So it will spit out a half in our case. Okay, well anyway, find the inverse of this function here, and also find the domain for the inverse. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this here, the first step is to say let f of x equals y. So we're saying the function here equals this thing here. Okay, so let f of x equals y. Y is just some sort of dummy variable, so that we're going to use it for simplicity, and when we finish using it, we're just going to throw away the y. Well, anyway, let's just say f of x equals y. So you finding the inverse is like you making x the subject here. So our first step is to make x the subject. So currently you've got this thing here. Currently you've got this block equals this block plus this block here. Keep an eye on x. We're trying to make x the subject. So take away 3 from both sides. So that will give you this here. That will give you this here, and then visualize it as this. You've got a bubble here, and then a bubble here. So inside your mind, times both sides by this bottom bubble here. So it will be this. Hang on, let me move it across. Oops, hang on. Yeah, okay. So bear with me. So currently, hang on. Currently, we've got this bubble here, and this bubble here. So times both sides by this bottom bubble here. So so you have one bubble here times this bubble here equals 10. Okay, and then keep an eye on x. X is stuck in this bubble here. So divide both sides by this bubble here. So you have this. Okay, and then again keep an eye on x. Currently you've got this minusing this. At the moment x is a minus here. So the next step is to add 2x to both sides. So you have this here. Okay, and then so currently you've got this block equaling this plus this. So let's kill off this block here. Keep an eye on x because we're trying to make x a subject. So yeah, so you take this down and then you take away this block from both sides. So it will give you this here, and then merge these two together. So currently we've got this here. Well, ultimately we want to divide by 2, but by you merging these two together first, then when you come to divide by 2, it's a lot easier. So merging these two, turn this 4 into a fraction, and then times top and bottom by this denominator here. Because in order for you to add fractions, the two denominators here have to be the same. So in effect, you are multiplying top and bottom by this thing here. Okay, and then that will give you this. And then now notice that the two denominators are the same, so you can pretty much merge the two. Okay, because yeah, the two denominators are the same. So well, I did this in one. Well, I did this and this. So when you multiply this and this together, it will give you this. The 4 times the 3, that will give you the minus 12. And then because the two denominators are the same, you can also merge the 10 in as well. Okay, so it becomes this, and then well, single number here, so you can merge these two together to give you minus 22, and then divide both sides by 2. So when you divide by 2, when you divide this side by 2 here, it gets multiplied to the bottom. Okay, so but at the moment this is like a bubble here. So when you multiply it to the bottom, it will give you this. That's why it's like this here, and then multiply this out like this, and then that will give you this here, and then yeah, so there we've made x the subject. So now we can say, oh, our inverse, well, the inverse function would be this, and then we would change the y to the x, because at the moment you're saying whenever you put into here, wherever you see an x, you've got to put it into here. So we change the y into an x here. So this is our inverse function. Okay, and now the next step is to ask yourself, what is the domain for this function here? So currently this is our inverse function. Okay, originally hang on, bear with me. Originally, hang on, it was like this. Bear with me. Oh no, hang on, bear with me. So here originally this was our function, and then we worked it out to find the inverse. Don't forget, this is our inverse function here. And so this, looking at this diagram here, if originally this was our function here, we worked out the inverse. The inverse happens to be this. Now if you put 5 into this machine here, 5 times 4 will be 20. 20 take away 22 would be -2. Okay, and then also put a 5 into this bit here. So that would be, this bit here would be 10. Take away 6 would be 4. So you see this here is in fact the same as -1/2. So we really, in a way, so this here is the inverse function. Okay, the next step is to find out the domain for this inverse function here. To find the domain, find out what really breaks down this machine. What number would you put into here that, well, you see this machine here breaks down when this bit here is 0. So the next step is to ask, when is it that this here equals 0? Well, it equals 0 when this here is a +6. Then the next question is when is it that this here is a +6? Well, when x is 3. So the domain for this inverse function here is anything. X can be anything on the real number line except from the number 3. So you can put anything into this machine here. But if you try and put the number 3 into this thing here, then this whole machine here breaks down. Okay, because this bit here will end up being 0, and you can't have anything dividing by 0. Well, anyway, the domain for this function here, well, this here is the inverse function, and the domain is anything on the real number line except from the number 3. Okay.